Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if, Naruto was the last descendant of Uzumaki Bloodline, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. In the middle of a dark night, the earth shook, tsunamis were hitting hard, the ground started to crack, and started to split, even the animals were going crazy, the night had taken the sky. Two men were in the middle of a wasteland waiting for someone or something. Both men were the same height, they both had cream pale skins with horns coming out of their heads. The difference was one had long white hair with pale white eyes wearing a pure white kimono, he was wielding a shikujo staff and a katana. The other had short spiky short-length pale red hair with purple sclera eyes with black ripples, and in the middle was a small pupil, he also wielded a shikujo and a katana. These two men were Hagoromo and Himura Otsutsuki. Both of the men were waiting for what's coming towards them, for they knew it would be their first, and maybe last battle. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The sound was getting closer and closer. The brothers were preparing for their challenge. Slowly a giant black beast with 10 tails rose up from the ground. Its giant red eye, which had 4 circle ripples with 9 tamo, looked down at the two humans, and let out a powerful roar that shook the earth and mountains. The two men had activated and summoned up a large amount of their chakra, as they took a hold of their weapon. Both of the men charged forward, as they clashed with the beast. 3 days later, somewhere in a nearby river, a woman was sitting at a rock under the moonlight. She had stood 57, she had smooth cream-like glass skin, and whenever she was under the moonlight, she glowed up like a goddess. She was wearing a white high-collar princess kimono, which had lines weaving with tamo designs. She had pure white eyes with long snow-white hair that almost touched the ground. She also had horns growing out of her head that looked like rabbit eats. She had a red ripple eye that had 9 that was in the middle of her forehead. Her fingernails were long, and her lips had a shiny ruby red color that matched the color of her nails. This was Kaguya Otsutsuki, the rabbit goddess, and the mother of Hagoromo and Himura Otsutsuki, the very first person to have chakra from eating the Shinju fruit from the Shinju tree, the source that held chakra. Kaguya right now was near a river. She carried a large basket in one hand, and on the other arm she carried a baby that was wrapped up in a small white blanket. The skin was like Kaguya's, he had silver bright eyes with red short straight hair with 2 tiny horns out of his head. This was Kaguya's secret third son, Jin Otsutsuki. You see, years ago, Kaguya had left town to gather supplies and return home, but it seems destiny had led her to unexpectedly meet someone. Flashback a year ago, Kaguya had just arrived in town, she had hidden her horns and eyes under a transformation, so the people didn't freak out. Instead of white hair it was raven black that went to her middle back, and her eyes had turned into a silver dark color. She wore a black kimono with her skin light pale. She had got the supplies she needed, and went to leave as soon as possible. To her it wasn't safe for her to be around mortals. Not that she did not fear them or anything, she just didn't want anybody to discover her chakra power or expose her to the humans. Few minutes later she was at the edge of town preparing to leave, and she heard a voice. "Excuse me, I miss," a voice called out. As she turned around, as someone called her, she looked at the man. As she turned face him, what she saw she could not describe. In all her travels so many mortal men have fell for her beauty, and have tried to speak to her, but she knew they were never worthy, of course, though she needed a man to give her strong children, and she did years ago when she met a rich nobleman. After putting the man under an illusion she had her way with him, later on killing him. But that changed when she saw this man. The man was around his 20s, he stood 5'9", he had tan skin with a pair of bright silver eyes, he had red straight short hair. Imagine Naruto hair red when he met his mom in Shippuden. He wore a vest with a fishnet underneath him, that matched his baggy black pants. He also had his right arm wrapped up in white tape, while the left arm had no sleeves, except wearing an open finger glove. Kaguya was stunned looking at the man. In all her life she has never met any humans who she would consider handsome. To her this man was beyond handsome. She had started to feel a small warmth in her heart. She had never felt like this before in her entire life. What is this feeling? Kaguya thinks to herself. "You drop this," the man said, as he held out a tamo necklace. Kaguya's eyes went wide as she saw the necklace. It was no ordinary tamo necklace. This tamo was made from Kaguya's yin-yang chakra, which held half of her other chakra if anything were to happen, but something told her that someone may need it in the future. She slowly grabbed the necklace from the man, and, as she grabbed it, she felt his strong hands. From the way the man is dressed and looks she instantly knew he was some kind of merchant. When she realized she was holding his hand still she let go, and looked away, as she blushed. "Thank you," Kaguya said softly, as she turned her head. Her hair blocked her face, so she didn't show her now small red cheeks. When the man saw Kaguya he instantly thought she was the most beautiful person he had ever seen. He was blushing, as he felt Kaguya's smooth hand when she grabbed the necklace from him, but she didn't let go for a minute, until she realized what she was doing, and she pulled back looking away. Ryu had a big blush when she was holding his hand, but soon he snapped back to reality. You're welcome, my name is Ryu Miss the man said, trying to guess her name. "Oh," Kaguya exclaimed, "I'm sorry, I'm Kaguya." Kaguya greeted the man. Then flashback. After that fateful day, both Ryu and her had started to spend more time with each other, getting to know each other. But of course Kagaya had not told Ryu who she really was until she can fully trust him. The months had passed by, and the relationship started to grow sooner. As they got to know each other for months, they both knew they loved each other, although Kagaya never understood love. But eventually Kagaya had trust Ryu enough to reveal to him who she really was. Another flashback. Kagaya was in Ryu's living room ready to reveal to him who she really was. Ryu-kun, I have something to tell you, Kagaya said to Ryu nervously. Although she was a goddess, and should not have fear, this was her lover, the very first man, and mortal she wanted to be with. What is it, princess? Ryu asked, as he stroked Kagaya's soft cheek. Ever since he met Kagaya, the two grew close, and soon enough, she gave him a chance. The two. Ryu, Kagaya said, still nervous. Kagaya had got up from the chair, and was in front of Ryu. She closed her eyes, as she let her transformation fall. Her hair had turned back into a long snow-white color, her horns grew out, and her red tomoe was revealed. Her black kimono had turned back into her high-collar white princess kimono. As the transformation dropped, she slowly opened her eyes, revealing that her eyes were no longer silver, but pale white. My name is Kagaya Otsutsuki Kagaya. She then later explained to Ryu who she really was, and about her chakra powers, and about her two sons. After she was done revealing to Ryu who she really was, she watched him just stare at her in shock. She was getting a little nervous about what he was thinking. Ryu slowly got up from the chair and went towards Kagaya. As he was close, he stopped and just put his right hand on her cheek. You are not my princess, Ryu said. Kagaya felt her heart, and the world was crumbling as those words left his mouth, but soon it stopped as he continued to talk. You my spring rabbit princess, Ryu said softly as he stroked her cheek. I got that nickname from Sealed Legacy by Psychoji, thank you. For the first time since her birth with her two children, she was shedding tears. You're not mad? Kagaya asked as tears came down to her cheeks. Never, you're even more beautiful than ever, even I don't feel like I'm not worthy of being with you. Ryu said softly. Kagaya just shook her head. No, you are worthy, the moment I saw you. Ever since the day I met you I felt something I have never felt before in my life. To this day I still feel that. Kagaya had stopped talking as she took Ryu's hand and placed it where her heart was. Here, she had said softly. Ryu looked shocked. She admitted she loves him, but soon that shocked face turned into a smile that Kagaya loved to see. He had looked into her pale white eyes, and placed his hand on her cheek, as he spoke. It's called love, my princess, it's called love. Ryu said softly, as he brought his lips to her soft ruby lips. As the kiss was made, Kagaya was surprised at first, but soon she started to let him kiss her. She then opened her mouth allowing Ryu entrance. Their tongues were swishing around each other for dominance. Ryu sucked on Kagaya's tongues, and heard her moan. Ryu had picked up Kagaya, and moved to the bedroom. The next morning Kagaya woke up, as she had a night she would never forget, as she learned about love. She had turned around to see her lover's face, but to her surprise he was gone. A note was left behind, stating that he would be back in 2 months. She understood, as he was a merchant, and he would be traveling all around the land, so he would be gone for a while, but she promised herself to wait for him. A couple months later he did not come back, which was strange. The letter he had wrote to her had clearly said he'd be back in 2 months. He should have been back by now, Kagaya had thought, but soon her thoughts were cut off, as she felt a strong chakra signature in her stomach. Okay, young one, will go eat, Kagaya said to her now slightly built stomach, as she rubbed it. Kagaya was 3 months pregnant, and it would be a boy, as Kagaya predicted. When she found out she was pregnant, she was excited to tell Ryu, as they would settle down, as a family, something she has been wanting for a long time. She would wait for him no matter how long it takes. 2 more months had passed by, and Ryu was still not back yet. Kagaya was getting a little worried. She had thought he would be back months ago, but Kagaya still had not heard anything. Soon she had gone to an office where the merchants would report after they came back. Kagaya came up in front. Excuse me, Kagaya said. The man looked up at Kagaya. Yes, miss. Can I help you? The man asked. Yes, my fiancé's name was Ryu. He was a merchant, and I haven't heard from him in 4 months. He was supposed to be back those 2 months ago. Kagaya finished explaining. Let me see, the man said, as he went into a drawer and took out a folder that had Ryu's name and picture. The man looked over it, and, as he read it, he had just sighed at the end. I'm sorry, but Ryu's wagon was ambushed by some mercenary and captured, but the hostages were never seen again, most likely killed. I'm sorry, the man said sadly. It was always hard telling family, friends, fiancés, that their relatives or loved ones were killed, and by the look on her face, this was a very special person to her. As Kagaya heard what the man said, her body started to shake uncontrollably. Tears threatened to fall down at any time. Kagaya had quickly left the place. The man can only sigh, as he really felt sorry for the poor woman. Then flashback again. After that day she cried non-stop for the loss of her loved one. She was not only sad for herself, but for the baby too, for losing its father before being brought into the world. She had lost faith in the world. They took her loved one away. Now she was gonna destroy something they hold precious. She was thinking until she saw her baby just looking at her with a smile. Kagaya couldn't help but smile back. The baby had definitely looked like Ryu, except for the skin and horns. She had a feeling that her son would be powerful, more powerful than herself and his brothers. The powerful roar was heard all across the land. Kagaya knew her two sons were powerful enough to defeat the Jubi. She had never told them that when they seal Jubi away she dies. Because without the pure Shinju tree, the chakra in her body would give out in seconds. Kagaya had looked at her son as she set him in the big basket and placed the scroll in the blanket. Tears were flowing down Kagaya's cheeks hard. Moments later she feels a small hand on her cheek and she looks at her son as he looked like he was trying to wipe off the tears. Kagaya held her child's hand and smiled. She had pushed his hand back to him. She slowly went around her neck and took off her single Tomo necklace. "Dear sweetie, this is Mama's special necklace she made." Kagaya whispered softly to her son as she put the necklace in her son's little hand. "It holds half of my other chakra. Whenever you need me I'll be there when the time comes. You may not understand me now, but I know you will in the future." Kagaya whispered as she ran her fingers through her son's red hair. The earth started to shake and rumble, but moments later it had settled down. She knew the boys had defeated the Jubi and were ready to seal it away forever. Kagaya had felt her body starting to grow weak as it was almost time. Kagaya grabbed the basket and walked slowly to the river. She knelt down, gently looking at her son one last time. The baby had started to cry, as if he knew what was gonna happen. Kagaya hushed Jin, shhh, it's okay. Kagaya comforting her son. She had then sung a song to Jin that she used to hear back in the other world when she was a little girl. Soon the baby fell asleep. "I love you, my Jin-kun," Kagaya had whispered as she kissed the baby's forehead. Kagaya had slowly pushed the basket in the river. "Goodbye Jin-kun," Kagaya said to herself as the river carried the basket away. As Kagaya saw the basket float away, she turned around just in time to see her son Hagoromo trap the basket in a planet-like sphere, sending it to the moon. As the sphere was sent to the moon, Kagaya's body was giving out. Her body started to disintegrate slowly into sparkles. She smiled one last time as she looked at where her baby was floating down. As she was about to leave the world, "Jin-kun, be safe," Kagaya said in her last thought as she dissolved away. "Somewhere." A man in a straw hat with a black cloak had stopped in a nearby river to refill his can and continue on to his journey. As he was about to leave, he saw a basket floating down the river. Being quick, he took off his cloak and straw hat as he jumped into the river, swimming towards the basket. As he got a hold of the basket, he swam back to shore. As the man was back ashore, he had set the basket down on a flat stone and went to dry himself off. Moments later, the man had returned. As he was dry, he walks forward and sits down and checks what's inside the basket. As he opens the basket, the first thing he sees was a baby that was wrapped up in a white baby blanket. The baby had red hair. His skin was a smooth cream glass skin-like color, which had reminded him of someone. He saw the baby having two little horns out of his head, but as the baby opened his eyes, they were bright silver color. The baby stared at the man while the man stared back. As the man looked at the baby, he saw something in his hand. As he opened it, he saw the object. He slowly grabbed it and revealed it to be a necklace he recognized. Why would the baby have this necklace? Thinking to himself. Soon enough his thoughts were broken off as the baby had started to cry. The baby was crying, acting on instinct. The man held the baby and had started to comfort him. He gently rocked the baby. "Shhh, it's okay," the man had said softly. The baby had then stopped crying and had looked at him with his bright silver eyes. As both were looking at each other, the baby had fallen asleep in the man's arms. As the man had gently put the baby back in the basket so the baby didn't freeze, he had made a campfire and had set the basket near him so it could stay warm. The man was just looking at the necklace, thinking of the person it belonged to. He had removed his cloak and made it into a pillow as he took his straw hat off. He had red hair with tan skin with silver eyes. He was wearing samurai armor with a long black sleeve shirt, and he wore dark baggy pants with blue ninja sandals. This was Ryu, the man and the loved one of Kagaya and the supposed dead traitor. You see, Ryu was on his way back home, but his wagon was under attack by mercenaries. But Ryu was no ordinary merchant. No, you see, Ryu was a former swordmaster, and has been for his whole life. He may have not been practicing in years, but it didn't mean his skills were rusted. As Ryu was fighting off the mercenaries, he didn't realize that one of them had slipped right behind him. Ryu was knocked out. Later on, Ryu had awoken, and was held captive for months until he had made escape, and freed the people that were captured. Since his escape, he had traveled to be back with his princess. As he was thinking, something happened to him. He felt his body warming up, energy was flooding through him. He felt as if he could now take on the mercenaries again. Soon the feeling had gone away. As Ryu fell back to normal, he had again checked on the baby. As he expected, the baby was still asleep, but underneath the blanket he saw was a scroll. As he took the scroll, he had unrolled it, and had started to read it. "Dear reader, my name is Kagaya Otsutsuki, and the baby you have is my child Jin Otsutsuki." Ryu's eyes widened in surprise, as he found a letter that was written from Kagaya. As he had then continued reading, he had not only discovered that his princess was dead, but the baby was his, and Kagaya's. As he finished the letter, he had let a single tear fall from his eye onto the scroll, only for it to be wiped away by a small hand. As he looked at the baby with his now open silver bright eyes, he gently took the baby in his arms, and held the necklace above the baby, which made Jin giggled as he tried to reach up the necklace. Ryu smiled at his son. "Don't worry, Jin, your old man here now," Ryu had thought to himself as he chuckled as he played with the baby. The Hidden Leaf Village, one of the most famous ninja villages in the entire nation. Created by the Senju clan leader, the former Shodaime, the late Hashirama Senju, and by his former best friend, the former Uchiha clan leader, one of the strongest shinobi to ever had lived, the late Madara Uchiha. Not only was it famous or known for that, but it has also made some of the strongest ninjas in history. The Sandaime Sarutobi Hiruzen was an elderly man around his 60s. Despite his age, he could still give a run for your money. He was one of the 4 ninjas who fought throughout 3 of the great ninja wars back in his young days with his 3 teammates. Not only that, but he was also one of the 4 students to learn under the first and second. Years later, he was chosen to be the Sandaime from his sensei the Nidaime, the late Tobirama Senju, which Hiruzen happily took, swearing to protect his village family, friends, loved ones. Hiruzen was a peaceful man that didn't like going to war. To be truthful, he hated the war. He was the opposite of his ex-teammate and rival Danzo Shimura, but when a threat comes to harm his village, family, and friends, he changes and shows the enemies how he fought throughout the 3 of the great ninja wars, and had got him the title that no one has held except his sensei Hashirama. Shinobi no Kami. God of Shinobi, Hiruzen was also known as the Professor due to his knowledge he learned and studied throughout his 3 decades in war. He was mostly known for training Konoha's 3 legendary Sannin, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade Senju, princess of the Senju clan, and granddaughter of the late first Hokage. But what people mostly forgot was that she was also granddaughter to the clan leader of the Uzumaki clan, and was the first ever 9-tailed fox Jinchuriki, the late Mito Uzumaki. But Konoha now was mostly known for having the Yondaime Konoha's yellow flash, Minato Namikaze. Until 14 years ago, the 9-tailed fox attacked the Hidden Leaf Village. Minato had sacrificed himself to seal the 9-tailed fox away in a newborn baby, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki was an orphan, and of the 9-tailed foxes. Ever since day one, Naruto's life has been a living hell. He was constantly bullied, glared, ignored, even denied food. Ever since being kicked out at the orphanage at 4 years old, Naruto had fought and clawed his way to where he is, and what he is today, a proud Konoha ninja. Naruto had always wanted to become Hokage for attention at first, until his surrogate grandfather the Sandaime taught him the purpose, and why people like the Shodaime and Nidaime choose to become Hokage, the will of fire. At first Naruto didn't understand the will of fire, but his surrogate grandfather told him, "Naruto, the will of fire is not something I say to the village, because I'm Hokage, I say it because the will of fire is true. No matter what, you must always protect the ones you care for. When you fight for your village, you also fight for its people and loved ones. You use that, and I guarantee you will become a great than the first, second, fourth, and maybe myself." Since then Naruto had trained every day till he dropped, promising himself to be and protect his village and people, like his idol did the Yondaime, or should I say his father. Yes, Naruto is the son of Yondaime, but this was declared a SSS rank secret. You see, Minato had fallen in love with a woman who came from the whirlpool country of the Uzumaki clan before it was destroyed, named Kushina Uzumaki, the second of the 9-tailed foxes. Before Kushina had left the whirlpool, her leader and grandmother Mito Uzumaki had transferred the 9 tails into her, as she had a bloodline that would hold down the Kyuubi if it ever tried to escape. She was kidnapped by Kumo, as they found out about her bloodline, but soon she was rescued by Minato, who defeated the kidnappers. Since then Minato and Kushina had gotten together, and years later they had gotten married. Later on, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze was born. It was a happy moment for the family, until a masked man had attacked them, and had taken the 9-tailed fox out of Kushina, unleashing it on Konoha. Having no other choice, Minato had to seal the 9-tailed fox into his son, using the Death Reaper seal. After Minato's sacrifice, the Sandaime had told the council of Naruto's status, as to be seen as a hero like Minato wished, but the civilians had called for his death instantly. Soon the status of Naruto being was declared a S-rank secret from the villagers, and that the younger generation are forbidden from hearing it, but it never lasted long when someone from the council had told someone, and soon it spread. Soon enough the village had all known, and had told their children that he was a demon or a monster or a troublemaker, causing the children to avoid and ignore him or bully him. Naruto may have a hard life, but you know what they say, it's your choice to get up and continue life or stay down and be dwelled in the past, as he would say. Naruto had failed graduation 3 times, as the teachers sabotaged his work. When he failed the 4th time, he was lied to and tricked by Mizuki, who was an academy teacher who was revealed to be working for Orochimaru, into stealing the forbidden scroll. After learning from the scroll, Naruto succeeded in doing a Kage Bunshin no Shadow clone Iruka Yumino, who was Naruto's favorite teacher, and one of the 5 people who he trusted. The ones Naruto could trust were the Sandaime, Iruka, and surprisingly Hinata Hyuga. Mizuki had revealed to Naruto about his status, but he later regretted almost killing Iruka, as Naruto summoned 1000 shadow clones, and beat the living daylights out of Mizuki. Soon enough Naruto earned his headband from his teacher, and to make it personal Iruka gave Naruto his own headband, as a present for his surrogate little brother. After that day, Naruto was assigned to be on Team 7 with his teammates, Sasuke Uchiha, the last member of the Uchiha clan. Sakura Haruno. She came from a normal civilian family. Finally his sensei Kakashi Haddock, son of the White Fang of Konoha, the late Tsukumo Haddock. The first thing Naruto had thought was, this team is gonna crash, and burn hard. Naruto knew about Sasuke's ego problem, and knew he wouldn't accept help from anyone. He may not understood about Sasuke losing his family, but he did understood about him being alone. After all, Naruto was alone all his life, so he did understood the feeling. But if Sasuke doesn't accept help or be a teammate, he could end up killed or get the team killed. Then there is Sakura Haruno. She was known as the biggest Uchiha fangirl, and crush, whatever Sasuke said Sakura obeys, and does it. To Naruto it was just sad. The girl needed a kick of reality soon. Finally his sensei Kakashi Haddock. Kakashi was a prodigy just like Sasuke. He had graduated early, and in a couple years, he was put on a team with his sensei Minato Namikaze, with his teammates Obito Uchiha, and Rin. After his father's suicidal death, Kakashi had changed, as he said those who abandon the mission are trash. Soon though he had changed when his teammate Obito sacrificed himself to blow up the Kanabi Bridge, and had been crushed under the boulder. Before dying Obito had given Kakashi his left Sharingan eye, to replace Kakashi's damaged left eye. But the war was far from finished. A couple months later after Obito's death, Rin was captured by Kurigakure, and was made into the three-tailed Jinchuriki, but the plan was to send her back to Konoha, as the Biju would release by the time she arrives at Konoha. But Rin begged Kakashi to kill her, and at first he couldn't do it, but Rin is making a sacrifice like Obito. Kakashi had Chidori right to Rin's chest to her where her heart was, which instantly killed her. The war had ended, and years later becoming an Anbu captain his sensei died sealing the nine-tailed. Kakashi is the only man to be a student of the 4th Hokage, and the only member alive in Team 7. Years later, Kakashi had earned the nickname Kakashi no Sharingan or Copycat Kakashi. At first Team 7 except Kakashi had thought ninja duty was not dangerous, as they did annoying D-rank missions, but things though have changed when they did a C-rank mission to escort a bridge builder named Tazuna to the wave. But soon it had changed into an A-rank mission, as they fought the Demon Brothers, and later on facing Uzumaki, former member of the Seven Swordsmen, an unknown masked teenage boy that had a Hyoten, ice release. The months had passed by, and the team still did not get along, well except for Sakura and Naruto. After the A-rank mission Sakura had a hit of reality. She regretted her action towards the blonde-hair orange-wearing ninja, and apologized for her past actions. Naruto eventually forgave her, and both had started a friendship. Sasuke Uchiha was not seen as much, as Kakashi always took him for private stuff. Kakashi had only taught Naruto and Sakura tree climbing, since the wave mission, and teamwork, while Kakashi took Sasuke away for some private training. As the exams came up, Team 7 had entered, and had passed the written stage which was a nerve-wracking challenge. Then the second stage was the Forest of Death, which was a bitch. Team 7 had run into the missing leaf ninja, the snake Orochimaru, and had their asses handed to them. Soon enough Orochimaru had branded Sasuke with the curse mark, and had used the 5 elemental seals to cut Naruto off from using the 9 tails fox chakra, and half of his chakra. Sakura soon had to defend Naruto and Sasuke from sound ninjas that had orders to kill Sasuke. Soon enough Rock Lee arrived, and had helped Sakura for a while, until the mummified sound ninja had used his gauntlet to attack Lee, causing Lee to fall unconscious. Soon enough Sasuke awakened his curse mark, and had attacked the sound trio. Sasuke had broken one of the sound ninja's arms, while he knocked out the other two, but Sasuke stopped the attack, as Sakura hugged, and begged him to stop, which had made the curse back to his neck. Naruto later had awoken, and Team 7 had continued on to the tower. Soon enough they had arrived, and had passed the second stage, but there were too many participants. Soon enough it was decided that they would hold a mini-tournament to see who would advance to the finals. The winners were Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara, Kankuro, Temari, Shikamaru, Niji, Shino, Dosu. Now it was time to see who would face soon in the finals. Match 1. Naruto vs Niji. Match 2. Sasuke vs Gaara. Match 3. Kankuro vs Shino. Match 4. Shikamaru vs Temari. As the Hokage made a good luck speech to everyone, Naruto took off to find Kakashi. Konoha's Hospital. Naruto knew Kakashi would check on Sasuke, and of course teach him for the finals, but what the hell he would try, and ask at least. Naruto clenched his fist thinking of his opponent Niji Hyuga. Niji had almost killed his cousin Hinata during the pre-fight, but luckily the senseis had stopped him. He just didn't understand. Hinata was the most kindest-hearted ninja he ever met. Sure, he thought she is a little weird, but man, sometimes when she stutters, he finds it cute. Where did that come from? Naruto is thinking to himself. Shrugging it off, Naruto finally had found his sensei near Sasuke's room, which didn't surprise Naruto. Kakashi sensei, I need you. Naruto was cut off. I know you need Naruto, and I can't do it. I have to train Sasuke to be ready to fight against Gar. You saw what he did against Lee. Sasuke needs to be ready to fight against Gar," Kakashi said, trying to explain to his student. Naruto was furious after hearing what Kakashi-sensei. "Did you not see what Neji almost did to Hinata?" "I need your help," Naruto yelled. Naruto kept it down. "Look, I'm really sorry, Naruto," Kakashi said, walking away to Sasuke's room, turning his head looking back at his student. "Just give up, Naruto. There's next time," Kakashi said, as he went to the room. Naruto stood there shocked. His own sensei telling him to give up. Did he not have faith in him? Naruto looked down for a minute, bitter chuckle. "Fine, if Kakashi doesn't believe in me, I'll believe myself, but I know the Ichiruki, Jiji, Grandpa Old Man, Iruka-sensei, Konohamaru, Sakura, Hinata-chan." Smiling at the image of the princess, Naruto decided he would train himself. "No matter what, I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way," Naruto thinking to himself, burning with determination. Naruto decided to leave the hospital until he bumped into Sakura. "Hey Sakura, sorry I didn't see you," Naruto said. "Oh, hey Naruto, it's fine. What are you doing here anyways?" Sakura asked. "Oh, I was asking Kakashi-sensei if he can train me, but I guess he's training Sasuke for a month," Naruto said, trying not to sound mad. "Oh," Sakura exclaimed. She really didn't know what to think. She loved Sasuke, and yeah, he may need training to face Gar after what happened to Lee, but to abandon your student, it was just wrong. "Well, maybe next time," Naruto said. "Hey Sakura, I gotta go, I'll see you around," Naruto shouted, as he waved, and took off to his secret training ground. Sakura waved back. She turned around, and continued to walk towards the front counter. "Excuse me nurse, do you know what room Rock Lee is in?" Sakura asked. Secret training ground. Naruto had just arrived at a training ground. Naruto had sat down, and looked at the lake, the clear crystal blue lake sparkling up, as the sun shone. It was peaceful. The old man had told him meditating would help ease his mind. After going through today, he needed to relax. Naruto sat down on crisscross, taking a big inhale, and he breathed out slowly. Naruto closed his eyes, and started to block out the distraction, except he could hear the lake, as the fishes swam, the water running along the lake. It was nice. Mindscape, drip drip drip. Naruto seconds later opened his eyes, and he was no longer at the training ground, that was for sure. The place was dark, drops of water came from pipes. The place looked pretty much like a sewer. Not thinking through, Naruto followed the pipes, thinking it would lead him out. As he reached the end, he saw a light. Thinking it was the way out, Naruto headed towards it, but, as he was at the end, he stopped, as there were two giant gates with a paper with the kanji for seal. Naruto instantly knew what this was. "Come closer," the voice said. Being cautious, Naruto knew it was a lie, but what the hell couldn't kill him, right? Naruto was stepping towards the gates slowly. As he got closer, the claw shot toward Naruto. The claw had stopped, and it was an inch away from piercing Naruto's skull. Naruto never moved an inch or even flinched. Naruto was always close to death when he was chased by mobs on his birthday. He got so used to it that he no longer was scared of dying. In the shadows, two black slit giant red eyes snapped open, and soon enough it was revealed to be the nine-tailed fox. It had an orange fur human-like body, and a fox head with 9 tails. The nine-tailed fox was impressed that this kid didn't even try to move or dodge it. He didn't even sense fear. "Impressive kid, you didn't flinch," Kyuubi replied. "I know, but after you're close to death so many times you get used to it." Naruto replies back to the fox. "I have seen your life, but I must ask, why do you continue to defend them? Don't you want to take revenge, and make them suffer the way you suffered?" questioned the fox. Chuckle. "If I do that, then that proves them right. It proves I'm you, and you don't want that," Naruto said with a big grin. The fox would have replied back if he had something to say, which he didn't at the moment. "You come from people who say you're a bloodless monster. It looks like they were mistaken," Naruto said. Kyuubi had put his head down in front of his paw, looking at Naruto. "I really can't do much since I'm stuck with you. We usually mind our own business. We always have hid ourselves from humans for thousands of years, but years later humans had desired power. They would even go far into capturing us, and use us as nothing more than just weapons. I for one do not like being treated and used like a weapon." Naruto couldn't help but feel sad for the Kyuubi, being sealed away and used as a weapon. It reminded him of Haku, the masked boy that worked for Zabuza. Haku only served Zabuza as a tool, but deep down Haku saw Zabuza as a father figure. It was too late for Zabuza to realize what he meant to Haku at the end. Flashback. AMV Naruto's sorrow. "Don't you care about him?" Naruto shouted in anger, as hot tears were coming down his face. "He saw you, as a father figure he protected until his last breath. How can you be cruel to someone who gave their life to protect you? Did you care about him, or are you really that much of a demon?" Seconds had passed by. Everything was silent. No one talked, no one made a noise. It was total silence. Soon the silence broke at the sound of a teardrop, and the tear belonged to Zabuza Mamachi. Your words cut deeper than any blade. "All the stuff I said about Haku being a tool, I lied. I did care about Haku. At first I saw him as a tool, but over the years, Haku had attached to me. I was a father to him, and he was like a son to me." Zabuza stood up from the pain, as he was bleeding out. Kid, you made me realize about the mistake I made, as in return I'll kill all these maggots. Zabuza growled at the end, as he tore his bandages off his face with his teeth, revealing a smirking shark teeth grin. Kid, do you have a weapon? Zabuza asked, as he was prepared to join hell, but not without Gato first. And Naruto took out a single kunai. Here, take it. Naruto said, as he tossed the kunai to Zabuza, which he caught in his mouth. With that he charged at the bandits and thugs, slicing through every thug, showing no mercy. Zabuza had finally made it to Gato. Gato can only look in fear, as he sees the eyes of the hidden mist demon. Today you go to hell, Gato. I'll see you soon, but don't worry, I'm sure there are plenty of demons where you're going. Zabuza said, as he raised his head to slice Gato's throat. Why squelch? As Gato was about to beg for mercy, the kunai sliced through his throat clean. Holding his throat, Gato stumbled back, as Zabuza kicked him off the bridge into the ocean. Zabuza had moved through the thugs and mercenaries, and saw Haku's body, collapsing on the floor. Naruto held Zabuza move next to Haku. Zabuza looked at Haku with a smile, as he touched his cheek. Haku, I may not go where you're going, but know this, you always will be a son to me, Haku. Thank you, Haku. Before I go, what's your name, kid? Zabuza tried to find out the boy's name who had helped him realize about Haku. Naruto Uzumaki, future Hokage. Chuckle, an Uzumaki I never imagined I would see again. Zabuza said in his last breath, as he passed on to the next life. And flashback, Naruto was still thinking of what Zabuza meant when he said see one again. Does it mean I have relatives? Is there such a thing as an Uzumaki clan? Naruto thought, but what he didn't know was whenever Naruto thinks Kyuubi can hear it. Yes, kid, there is such a thing as the Uzumaki clan. They were renowned for their kenjutsu, but mostly, one of the most dangerous things a ninja to master, from storage scrolls to space-time seals. The Uzumaki clan was feared throughout the nation, but some countries decided to work together and destroy the Uzumaki clan, fearing that the clan would grow too powerful and try to destroy their countries. It was fear that drove the destruction of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto was in disbelief. He came from a clan that was powerful and respected, and it was destroyed because of their ridiculous fear. Naruto felt his anger rise up. Why couldn't he have a family was too much to ask for. Why is it every time I get close to finding my family they're gone? Why can't I find someone to be there for me? Naruto shouted in anger, as he had tears coming down, dropping on his knees, closing his eyes to stop the tears, but it didn't stop. He pounded the floor hard, making a small crater, not caring for his hand, and bones were shattering, and his knuckles were bleeding. As he went to hit the ground again, a hand grabbed his wrist. You are not alone, a voice called out. Naruto opened his eyes and looked up to see an old man. The old man helped Naruto get up from his knees. The man had a few wrinkles around his eyes. His hair was short and his color was a dull red. He had a small patch goatee. He had 2 horns out of his head. He had silver bright eyes. He wore a red monk robe with silver lines down the arm sleeves. He wielded a silver monk staff, and around his neck was a single black tomo necklace. Who are you? Naruto asked. Jin Kyuubi said, as he was shocked. Kurama, the man named Jin said with a smile. It's good to see you again, Jin said, as he walked over to the fox. Naruto was just dumbstruck. Right now he was watching this man talking to the 9 tails like they were childhood friends. The fucking 9-tail fox. Can someone tell me what's going? Naruto shouted, as he was trying to get the two's attention. The man turned around and faced Naruto. Oops, I forgot you were there, Jin said with a goofy grin, and rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment. Naruto faced the answer. But to answer the question you asked, my name is Jin Uzumaki. Naruto's eyes went wide as he heard the last name. That can't be, that's my last name. But that means Naruto trying to speak, but the words were caught in his throat. Yes, Naruto, I'm related to you. You are my descendant or greatest grandson, Jin answered with a smile. I have a family. Naruto looked at Jin with tears, but these were not tears of anger or sorrow, but joy. Jin had put his hand on Naruto's shoulder to get his attention. Jin smiled. I've been waiting for you, Naruto Uzumaki, Jin said. How do you know my name? Asked Naruto. I have seen through your life, from the day when Kurama was sealed into you to today. I would have visited you sooner, but my chakra had to reform back to me, so it took a while, but, as you can see, I'm here, Jin said. Not that I'm happy to see a family member, but why was I called here? Naruto asked, as he wiped the tears. Simple, my young descendant, I'm going to train you, Jin answered. Really? Naruto asked with hope if Jin meant it. Yes, young one, your training will start tomorrow, Jin said. Why tomorrow? Naruto pouted, as he made a pow face. We need to awaken your Genkai. Jin said in a serious voice. Wait, I have a Kekkei Genkai? Naruto asked. Jin nodded his head. Yes you do. Naruto, sit down, I'll explain my history. Sometime later. So wait a minute, you're saying you were brothers with the Rakudo Sennin, the Rakudo Sennin, the man who created ninjutsu? Sigh, for the 5th time yes, Jin said while rubbing his forehead. Sorry, I didn't mean to ask so many times, it's just so surprising. Naruto laughed, as he rubbed his head. That's alright, but back to serious matters. My 2 brothers each had a Kekkei Genkai, but they were different. Both of them each had a taijutsu from my mother. Hagoromo had them, and my other brother Himura had them. Wait, if your brothers had those, what did you have? Naruto asked. Jin smiled at his descendant. When I was born, my eyes were regular bright silver like right now. I thought I didn't inherit my mother's eyes or her power, but soon enough I found out I did. What was it? Asked Naruto. The yin-yang release is one of the most powerful Kekkei Genkai to exist, even far more powerful than my brother's Rinnegan, if you can master it. Jin said. Kit, Oji Jin is right, with the yin-yang release your arsenal and ninjutsu are more powerful. You'll also be able to use sub-elements which can give you a big advantage. Even your shadow clone will be powerful. For example, if you make a shadow clone with the yin-yang release, you basically make another you, a real one though, and the only way to defeat it is to kill it, like I said another you, and with the sub-element you'll be able to recreate elements that I thought had been lost for centuries. Kyuubi said. Whoa. Naruto is stunned at how powerful he really is. So your real name is Kurama? Naruto asked. The fox stood there silence, not answering for a few moments until, yes, that was what the old man named me when I was created. Kurama said. It's time to awaken your bloodline, Naruto. Jin said. Naruto nodded his head. Right, so what do I do? Naruto asked. Jin placed his hand on top of Naruto's head, and, as he did that he started to send his chakra to Naruto's body. At first Naruto felt pain, as if a hot kitchen knife was digging into his skull. Naruto's hair was now spiky long blonde hair with red streaks. Soon the pain had stopped, and he had started to feel warmth, as the pain went away. Naruto had stood up, and had never felt better than before. I think it's time for you to rest young, tomorrow we have a big day ahead. Jin said. Naruto nodded, and looked around. How do I get out? Naruto asked. I'll handle it. Kurama said, as he blew Naruto away. What do you think of him? Jin asked Kurama. The boy has a strong spirit. Usually people that has suffered like that boy would usually lose their mind, and wouldn't hesitate to use my power for his or her selfishness. But, the boy is different. He never wanted my power. How a lot of people would love to abuse my power. But this boy doesn't. He has earned respect, just like your granddaughter Mito and great-granddaughter Kushina, Kurama replied. Jin nodded. The boy will become more powerful than me, and my brothers combined. Chuckle. He has both Mito-chan and Kushina-chan determination. Jin said. Kurama nodded his head. Back to Reality. Naruto's eyes snapped open, and jumped, and looked around. He remembered where he was. Naruto took a deep breath, and left the training ground to go home. Well then Arutoe. Naruto continued to walk to his apartment until he heard a voice. Naruto, it's your grandfather, Jin called out. Grandfather? How can you speak to me? Naruto questioned. Kurama made a mental link for the three of us, to get home, and rest up. Said Jin. Alright Jiji, thanks. Naruto said. The next day, Naruto was at his secret training ground waiting for his Jiji or Kurama instruction. Okay Naruto, now that I managed to unlock yours, I also removed the 5 elemental seal that was placed on you by Orochimaru. Now that your chakra control is settled, it's time to see what are your element affinity or affinities. Jin said, as he took out a paper. This is chakra paper. It can tell you what element affinity you possess. If it wrinkles, it's lightning, earth turns to dirt, water damps it, wind cuts it, fire ignites. Now let's see what you got. Jin hands Naruto the paper. Naruto took the paper, and started to channel his chakra. Soon enough the entire paper was shredded to little tiny pieces, but some of the tiny paper turned into dirt, and some started to get soaked through making it into water, and some had wrinkles, and some started to burn. Just like I predicted, when you had the yin-yang you also gained the other affinities, but it seems your winds are the strongest, and water is second strongest, and by the looks of it, you have a small earth, lighting, and fire. Your wind is so strong you might be able to fly like the Tsuchikage, and if you can master your water chakra control, you might be able to use water out of the driest atmosphere like the Nidain. Jin said. Naruto already had stars in his eyes. To be able to fly, that's just too awesome, and to be able to use water like the Nidain. And no Naruto, you wouldn't be able to fly automatically because you lack wind chakra control, but that's why we're training. We're also gonna get your other element affinities in control, that way we can help you use the sub-elements. Jin said. Naruto pouted at first, but understood the reason behind it. We're also gonna work on your fighting style. I have a perfect fighting style for you, and what's good about this style, you can use and control your water chakra. Now before we continue I want you to sign something, but do these hand signs first. Jin said, as he showed Naruto the hand sign. As Naruto finished the last hand sign he slammed his hand to the ground like Jin said. Soon a giant scroll appeared in front of Naruto. Open it, and sign it in your blood. When you're done, do the hand signs I showed you. Said Jin. Naruto opened the scroll, and to his surprise there was only one name, his Jiji name. This contract must have been lost if his grandpa was the only one to sign it. Naruto bit his thumb, and started to write his name. As Naruto finished his name he went to the hand signs, and called out summoning. Naruto called out, as he slammed his hand to the ground, and a puff of smoke appeared, and out came a kangaroo. Naruto had sweat drops on the animal. The animal was about Konohamaru height. It had brown fur, but on the stomach it was tan, and it had brown eyes, and wore 2 black boxing gloves. Really Jiji, is this the best summoning animal? Naruto said, as he bent down to grab the little kangaroo until Naruto don't Jin said, trying to stop his descendant, but it was too late. The kangaroo instantly felt threatened, and delivered a straightforward rocket right punch to Naruto's sucker. Naruto was blasted away through some trees, and hit a boulder. Pick the kangaroo up, Jin said, as he saw his grandson sliding off the boulder. Naruto's leg twitches now, Naruto said. Minutes later Naruto finally stands up, and makes a note to never or let anyone pick up the kangaroo. The kangaroo contract was one of the 3 legendary contracts that I found that my brother Hagoromo made. I was lucky enough for the kangaroo boss to let me be their summoner. The other 2 are rare also, the Thunderbird and the Jaguar contract, but enough of that. Try to summon the boss, but use some of Kurama's chakra. Don't worry kid, I'll only send enough chakra for you to summon the boss, Kurama said, trying to gain Naruto's trust. Normally Naruto would not trust the fox, but under different circumstances Naruto fully trusted Kurama. Okay, here I go, Naruto said. As he felt Kurama's chakra, he went through the hand signs, and had used his chakra with Kurama, and shouted summoning. As the smoke cleared up, Naruto had a big smile on his face. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.